This is the NES, and this is the entire NES library on the Nintendo Switch. There are almost 100 games here, and for the last 24 hours, I played and rated every single one. The goal? To find the best NES games ever made that you should be playing, and the worst ones Nintendo ever released. And you won't believe the results. So let's go! I played Tetris before, mostly on PC when I needed a quick game. But how does the original NES version hold up? Well, the graphics are dated, but gameplay-wise, it's still classic Tetris. It's fun, addictive, and surprisingly challenging. One thing to note, you can't hold shapes in this version, which makes it a bit trickier if you're used to modern mechanics. But honestly, that just makes it more fun in a weird, old-school way. It's simple, but perfect for casual gaming sessions, whether you're killing time, zoning out, or trying to forget a bad day. Overall, I give Tetris a solid 5 out of 5. It's simple, fun, and timeless. For our next game, we have Cobra Triangle. Honestly, the main menu is amazing. There's this big cobra that looks like Shenron from Dragon Ball, if you know my drift. And in the game, you control a speedboat that can blast enemies and dodge obstacles. You'll face sharks, enemy boats, and defense systems, and each stage mixes up the gameplay. Some stages are river races, others require you to collect mines and deliver them to a detonation point while blue enemies try to steal them. Kinda like a retro capture the flag game. Then, there's this river stage where you ride against the current, dodging logs and whirlpools, and it's very challenging. This game is amazing. You need to play it. It's a challenging game, but that's what makes it so entertaining. Overall, I'll give Cobra Triangle a 4 out of 5. It's fun, challenging, and definitely worth checking out. Next, we have Donkey Kong Jr. Math. Here's the deal. It's basically a math exercise disguised as a platformer. You solve calculations to progress and it can get surprisingly complicated. I can see how it might be useful for kids who struggle with math or want a more interactive way to practice. But for me, I'd honestly rather do math on pen and paper than play this game. Overall, Donkey Kong Jr. Math gets a 2 out of 5, a quirky educational experiment. Now we have golf. It's a simple old-school golf simulator. You just get right into the game with no instructions. After a few bad swings and trial and error, I finally got a hang of it. You choose your clubs, account for the wind, and track your shots. That's basically it. One thing I noticed, there's no music. It's just you, the club, and the ball. But maybe Nintendo figured golfers like peace and quiet. Gameplay-wise, it's painfully slow. I went out of bounds and got stuck behind obstacles and somehow finished in 17 shots. Yep, 17 shots. And it was frustrating. Overall, golf gets a 2 out of 5 for me. It's dated, it's clunky, and it doesn't really hold up to today's standards. It's a relic of its time, more for nostalgia than actual fun. Next, we have Mach Rider. I thought this was initially gonna be a spaceship game, but instead, you're on a futuristic bike. Think Mad Max meets NES. The game uses a third-person view with a rear-view mirror in the upper right corner. Honestly, I hate it when enemies attack from behind. It feels like they're homing missiles more than just racers. They're kinda like the blue shells from Mario Kart coming straight at you. It's a total chaos. There are different modes, a fighting course where there's enemies everywhere and you need to race them, and an endurance course where you just ride a set of distance within a time limit. But even the no enemies endurance mode still feels dull without the chaos. This game definitely has the potential, but it's hard as heck, and those back attacking enemies are really frustrating. I give it a 2 out of 5. Next up, we have Atlantis no Nazo. It's a classic Japanese NES side-scrolling platformer. The music sets a mysterious vibe which I liked, but the gameplay gets chaotic fast. There are birds flying overhead that literally poop on you and kill you. Yep, you get instant death from bird poop, and it's wild. The game starts outside, but soon you enter a castle-like environment. It's a tricky game that keeps you on your toes by jumping and trying not to get killed instantly. Overall, it's not a must-play for everyone, but it does have its charm. It's fun in a retro oddity kind of way. So I give Atlantis no Nazo a 3 out of 5. It's not perfect, but definitely worth checking out if you're into quirky, challenging NES platformers. Next, we have Solar Jetman. You control a mini plug ship that feels heavy and tricky to maneuver, more like piloting a submarine than a spaceship. Touching obstacles doesn't kill you instantly, but it does damage your ship, making careful navigation essential. The core gameplay is all about exploration, and you move around an alien planet collecting items to upgrade your ship and progress further. If your astronaut dies, you can continue from where you left off, which makes it forgiving enough to experiment. Honestly, the game reminds me of Subnautica due to its exploration vibe, and you're gradually building up your ship, gathering resources, and navigating this strange hostile environment. Overall, Solar Jetman gets a 3 out of 5. The graphics are fantastic, and the exploration is pretty neat. Next, we have Urban Champion. It's an NES classic that's pretty iconic. The gameplay is simple. You punch your opponent in the face, trying to knock them into a drain hole. But watch out since items sometimes get thrown from windows, making things pretty chaotic. You've got a stamina bar that limits your punches and a timer, but that's about it. It's basically a Grandpa style street fighting game, but it really works. The downtown graphics are charming, the simple mechanics make it easy to pick up and play. It's perfect for a quick retro gaming session. For me, I give Urban Champion a 5 out of 5. It's iconic, fun, and still enjoyable by today's standards. Next up, we have RC Pro-Am. This is a top-down racing game that gives you full RC car vibes. The track design is awesome, with water puddles and oil slicks that make you slide around, all of which keeps races chaotic and fun. There's even a boost system, just like in modern racers. Hit the arrows on the track and zoom past opponents. It's simple, satisfying, and super addictive. Honestly, it kinda reminds me of Kirby Top Rider that I reviewed last time. I'll plug that below if you'd like to check that out. But for me, RC Pro-Am gets a 5 out of 5. It's fun, still playable today, and perfect as a minigame if you want a quick distraction or a retro racing action. This one is definitely a need to play. Next, we have Snake, Rattle, and Roll. This is a retro 2D-ish platformer, or 2.5D, where you control a snake that grows bigger every time you eat items. Though honestly, I'm not even sure what half of those items are. You move around a slightly 3D environment, collecting points as you go. The controls are a little quirky, kind of like Qbert, but it adds to the charm. The goal seems simple. Just eat and grow your snake while moving through these colorful, sometimes chaotic levels. It's not perfect, and the mission isn't super clear, but it's unique for trying a 2.5D perspective on a classic concept. I give Snake, Rattle, and Roll a good 3 out of 5. Next, we have Devil World. It's a quirky Japanese NES game designed by Shigeru Miyamoto. The game feels like Pac-Man meets a tiny adventure. You navigate looping maps, collecting dots, and uses crosses as power-ups to fight off mini demon enemies that kinda look a little like eyeball dinosaurs. There's even ice cream floating around for some reason. The gameplay is a mix of strategy and timing. You need to avoid or kill enemies and clear the map while figuring out the puzzle mechanics. The looping maps makes it trickier than regular Pac-Man, adding adventure game vibes. Overall, it's fun, unique, and surprisingly engaging. It's creative and definitely stands out. I give Devil World a 4 out of 5. It's challenging, entertaining, and a must-try for fans of quirky retro NES games or even Pac-Man. Next, we have Mysterious Murasame Castle. Here you play as a samurai fighting off enemy ninjas. The game feels a lot like Zelda with fast-paced action, a sword that you can swing, and even some fire attacks. The gameplay is interesting, but it's a bit confusing at first. There's no clear goal and it can feel like you're just running around defeating enemies without a bigger mission. Overall, it's fun, especially if you like Zelda-style NES games. I give Mysterious Murasame Castle a 4 out of 5. Next, we have Ninja JaJaMaru-kun Special Edition. This is another Japanese NES game. You play as a ninja trying to save a princess, and you need to defeat every enemy on the screen to move on to the next stage. But unlike the regular version, you're already on a higher stage, which makes it pretty challenging. The gameplay is still okay, but the graphics are also harsh on my eyes. But once you figure out the mechanics, it becomes more manageable, but it doesn't fully redeem the experience. Overall, I give Ninja JaJaMaru-kun a 2 out of 5. Next, we have Downtown Nekketsu Koshinkyoku. It's pretty much River City Ransom, but it's a racing game. So instead of fighting, you're racing through streets full of obstacles. The graphics is charming and the pixel art scenery has that classic nostalgic feel. That said, the game can be frustrating. You can get stuck in pits or obstacles and there's no clear way to get out if you fall. Plus, the Japanese text make it hard to follow what to do if you don't really read Japanese. Overall, it has the potential, especially if you understand Japanese, but I can see this game being really fun once you get the mechanics down. I give Downtown Nekketsu a 3 out of 5. Next, we have Mech Fight, another Japanese NES game. Here you control robots battling each other in a fighting game format. It actually feels like a decent fighting game with fun combat mechanics that can get you hooked. That said, the game is fully in Japanese, which makes it hard to understand, but overall it's fun for what it is. It's just that the language barrier really holds you back. But for persons who can read Japanese, this is a great fighting game. So for now, I give Mech Fight a 3 out of 5. I hope we have a translation for this game soon. Next, we have Mystery Tower. This is a puzzle platformer where you use blocks to climb and solve increasingly tricky levels. It really challenges your brain and problem-solving skills. Honestly, I can't get past the first stage because it's really tough, but I really like it. It makes you use some of your brain cells that you haven't used before. And that's what makes it fun. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Mostly because this is just a skill issue. But if you're brainy enough, I'd say this game deserves a solid 4 out of 5. Next, we have Xevious, the classic vertical scrolling shooter. In this game, you face off wave after wave of enemies while dodging attacks and bombing ground targets. Their intro music is very catchy, and the gameplay is simple but very addictive. You have both air and ground attacks, and mastering when to use each adds a layer of strategy. I give Xevious a 5 out of 5. It's entertaining, challenging, and a great example of why this shooter became a classic. Next, we have Diva. It's a Japanese space exploration and strategy game. In this one, you command a spaceship, exploring different planets and managing missions. It feels kinda like an early predecessor to games like Red Alert with its tactical battles. The interface is in Japanese, which makes it a little tricky to fully grasp, but the core gameplay is still interesting. I give it a 3 out of 5. Next, we have Pinball. This is a classic pinball game where you control the left and right flappers with arrow buttons. It's simple, quick, and perfect for a short gaming session when you just want to relax. Honestly, it reminds me of the old Space Cadet pinball on Windows, which is really the most goated pinball game ever. I just play it non-stop when it was a thing. While it's not groundbreaking like Space Cadet Pinball we all love, it's still fun and works as a minigame for quick distraction. I give Pinball 4 out of 5. It's simple, enjoyable, and nostalgic, even if it doesn't offer anything new. Next, we have Dig Dug 2. This one shakes things up compared to the original. You still defeat enemies by inflating them, but now the game has a top-down perspective and you can actually cut the ground to make enemies fall. It's a clever twist on the classic formula that adds strategy but keeping the core Dig Dug fun intact. The gameplay is chaotic in a good way and sometimes enemies chase you. Sometimes you're trying to figure out the best way to drop them into the waters. It's challenging but very satisfying when you pull off the perfect trap. Overall, Dig Dug 2 is a fantastic upgrade from the original. It keeps the charm while introducing new mechanics that makes it feel fresh. I give it a 5 out of 5. Next, we have Mappy-Land. This is a platformer where your goal is to collect all the cheese in each stage and make it to the exit. Right from the start, you can select stages, which is a nice touch, by the way, and each level feels unique, from standard platforming to pirate ships and flying stages. The game constantly changes things up to keep you very engaged. The graphics are detailed and charming, and enemies move at their own pace. So you're always thinking about timing and strategy, but it's never frustrating. Each new environment feels fresh and keeps the gameplay very interesting. Overall, Mappy-Land is innovative, fun, and very impressive. It's a game that hooks you in with its variety and clever level design. I give it a 5 out of 5. Next up, we have EarthBound Beginnings, also known as Mother. You control a young boy exploring his world, interacting with quirky characters, and uncovering strange events. The game style gives off Undertale vibes, especially with the unique fonts and offbeat atmosphere. The game also features an auto battle system, which is impressive for its time. Perfect if you want to level up without grinding manually. The music is catchy and gameplay is innovative, making exploration and combat engaging. Even today, it really holds up. The graphics, world building, and gameplay make it a charming experience that still resonates with modern players. I give EarthBound Beginnings a 5 out of 5. Next, we have Super Mario Bros. 3 Special Version. This version is unique because you start in the final world with fully stocked item box. It includes super mushrooms, fire flowers, super leaves, and more. It's essentially a curated challenge run rather than a classic game you might expect. Gameplay-wise, you can transform into a raccoon Mario and try out all different suits and power-ups. The levels are difficult from the start since you're already at the final world, and it plays more like a minigame or a quick challenge than a full Mario adventure. While it's fun for testing your skills, I still prefer the original Super Mario Bros. 3 experience. That said, the special version has the potential, especially for seasoned players looking for a quick, harder, item-rich run. I give Super Mario Bros. 3 Special Version a 4 out of 5. Next, we have Ninja JaJaMaru-kun. This is the normal version. In this regular version, you control JaJaMaru as he navigates side-scrolling levels filled with ghosts and other enemies. The goal is to defeat all the monsters and reach the end of the stage. Compared to the special version, the challenge here is more tamed and approachable, so you can focus on learning the mechanics and enjoying the levels without being overwhelmed. That said, the bright, clashing colors can still be a bit harsh on the eyes. Overall, I'd give this regular version a 3.5 out of 5. It's charming, playable, and easier to get into than the special version. Next, we have Fire and Ice. In this puzzle platformer, you play as a novice wizard called upon to save a peaceful island from an evil wizard who is sending fire monsters to melt the island. The story is charming and the visuals are surprisingly detailed and colorful. It immediately draws you in. The gameplay is all about using your magic to solve puzzles, build paths, and navigate the stages. It's tricky at times but satisfying when you figure it out. The game avoids the frustration of getting stuck like older puzzle games. So all in all, I really love its design, the graphics, and how it challenges your brain. This one gets a solid 5 out of 5. Next up, we have Nightshade. This is a point-and-click adventure set in Metro City. You explore the city, solve puzzles, and interact with various objects to progress, like using candles to burn ropes or finding keys to escape rooms. The game even mixes in some fighting sequences, giving it a slightly unique twist for an adventure game. I like how interactive it is and how you can examine most items in the environment. That said, the controls feel clunky and some actions doesn't always work as intended, which can be really frustrating. Despite that, the game has potential and its design is very interesting. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. Very promising, but it's rough around the edges. Next, we have S.C.A.T, Special Cybernetic Attack Team. This game feels like Contra on steroids. You control Arnold or Signory with the machine gun and also drones shooting alongside you. There are tons of power-ups, shotguns, flame weapons, and more that make the combat satisfying and chaotic. The visuals do a great job of showing off that scenery while keeping the action intense. Your mission? Destroy everything in your path, and Earth is counting on you. I really enjoyed it and it's fun, very action-packed, and has that classic run and gun feel with some neat upgrades. I give S.C.A.T a 5 out of 5. Next, we have The Immortal. This is an isometric dungeon adventure game that feels like a mix between classic dungeon crawlers and early action RPGs. You explore dark, trap-filled maps, face all kinds of monsters, and the combat sometimes switches into a more direct fighting style encounter. You start with a dagger and every step feels tense, almost like Dark Souls vibe in NES form. The graphics can be harsh on the eyes, but the game is very inventive for its time. It's challenging, atmospheric, and has a unique style that really stands out among the NES titles. I give Immortal a 3 out of 5. Next, we have Rygar. This game feels like a more mature take on Tomba. If you have played Tomba, you'll know what I mean. You play as a warrior wielding a chain and ball weapon, exploring open plains and fighting enemies along the way. The combat and movement feel satisfying, and it's actually pretty engaging once you get into it. It's not the kind of game that everyone would immediately pick up, but it's really fun and hooks you in. This one gets a solid 4 out of 5. Next, we have Eliminator Boat Duel. It's a fast-paced boat racing game. You hop into your powerboat and race across dynamic water courses, dodging obstacles, jumping ramps, and trying to stay ahead of rival boats. The game's perspective shifts between top-down and 2.5D rear view, giving it a unique feel compared to other racing games. It's intense, chaotic, and really fun for a short burst of gameplay. I give Eliminator Boat Duel a 4.5 out of 5. Next, we have Shadow of Ninja. This fast-paced action platformer combines Ninja Gaiden's intensity with Castlevania's environmental detail. You play as a ninja cutting through varied stages, using precise movement and quick attacks. The game's tight controls, health bar system, and tough bosses keep the action intense. Enemies can obscure your view or overwhelm you, adding to the challenge. It's tough, but once you've mastered it, it's incredibly rewarding. Shadow of Ninja gets a solid 5 out of 5. Fast, exciting, and brilliantly designed. Next, we have Crystalis. It's an action RPG game set in a post-apocalyptic world where civilization has collapsed and mutated creatures roam around. Kinda like Zelda if you ask me. There's no hand-holding here. The visuals are charming and the detailed environments make the world feel alive. But unlike games like EarthBound, Crystalis doesn't guide you. You'll have to figure out quests, find your sword, buy armor, and navigate the map on your own. The freedom is refreshing, though it can be confusing for newcomers. It shows its age, but there is still plenty of NES era RPG charm. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Next, we have The Journey to Silius. Gameplay-wise, it's a bit like Mega Man, though maybe slightly more detailed. The pace is faster than Mega Man, but not as chaotic as Contra, but it's still fun. The bosses like the giant helicopter stage are tough, but they're really engaging. The game is challenging, it hooks you in, and makes you want to come back for more. I give Journey to Silius a 4 out of 5. It's hard, but in a satisfying way, it's definitely worth a shot. Next, we have Gradius II loop. This is a special version of the game and it throws you right to the second loop, the harder mode, right from the start. Unlike the original game, you jump into space with your paddle ship and dive into action immediately. The gameplay has a bit of a Space Impact vibe for anyone who remembers those classic Nokia games. What I love about it is how it keeps things simple while still being genuinely challenging. For Gradius II, the second loop, I'd give it 3.5 out of 5. Though I know hardcore fans would probably rate it higher, I like my game starting at the start and ease up the difficulty. Next, we have Kung Fu Heroes. The perspective was initially confusing at first. I expected standard side-scrolling, but the colors and layout are easier on the eyes than other games. Once you've mastered this game, it can be actually fun. The goal is simple. You defeat enough enemies on the screen to open the door to the next level. There are surprises like jumping enemies, but you can also jump too. Combat is straightforward but satisfying. You can grab weapons or objects too. Overall, it's a fun, quick game that's easy to pick up and enjoy. I give Kung Fu Heroes a 4 out of 5. Next, we have Vice Project Doom. This game hooks you immediately with the story. Your mission feels important. It kicks you off with the car level reminiscent of Batman Batmobile games, but with the NES twist. It's surprisingly fun, but not too difficult. One of the better titles of this style. What's cool is the genre mix. From the Batmobile missions to platforming missions, the variety keeps it engaging and makes it feel almost like a modern indie game. Despite classic controls, the difficulty is well balanced, challenging enough to keep you invested but not unfair. The car chase sequences and layered gameplay make it feel like a complete experience, and relatively feel like a modern game. Overall, Vice Project Doom gets a 5 out of 5. It's fun and very engaging. I can absolutely see myself playing this and finishing it. Next, we have Donkey Kong 3. Here you play as a bug sprayer defending your plants from bees, and Donkey Kong, who is also involved. You blast him with a bug spray to keep him at bay while protecting your flowers. It's simple, but it works perfectly. The gameplay is quick, satisfying, and surprisingly addictive. It's the kind of game you can pick up during a short break and lose minutes or even hours without realizing it. Basic, fun, and effective, and I like those kind of games. I give Donkey Kong 3 a 5 out of 5. It's straightforward, enjoyable, and perfect for a quick gaming session. Next, we have Mighty Bomb Jack, Special Version. This edition throws you straight into the final zone, round 17. The mechanics are familiar. You collect bombs and treasures from chests, but being placed in the final zone right away makes it challenging since you haven't yet adjusted to the gameplay or controls. I'd give Mighty Bomb Jack Special Version a 2 out of 5. I'd personally prefer starting from the beginning rather than jumping ahead, but I do see the potential for elite players who wants the challenge immediately. Next, we have the Wrecking Crew. You play as Mario and the goal is simple. Wreck buildings, bricks, and other structures as you progress through the levels. Along the way, there's colored creepy enemies that follows you, adding a bit of pressure as you try to complete your task. You can always use the bombs to destroy walls and clear your path, which adds a little strategy to the straightforward gameplay. While it's not Mario's strongest game, it's simple and fun enough for a quick session. I give Wrecking Crew a 4 out of 5. Next, we have City Connection. As a kid, I always thought the roads just lit up as you drove, but it turns out you're actually covering them in white paint. The roads are divided into 3 lanes, top, middle, and bottom, and your goal is to paint every part of the street while avoiding obstacles and cops. The color design can be hard on the eyes, but the game has a unique charm. I'd give City Connection a 3 out of 5. It's fun for a quick session, but not especially gripping. Next, we have Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. Jimmy and Billy Lee are back ready to avenge Marion's loss. You start fighting your way through the streets, facing crime syndicates and various enemies. The combat hooks you immediately. You can grab weapons, throw knives, climb ladders, and pick up environmental items, giving it a surprisingly deep and dynamic feel. The game features different enemy types, tumbling effects, big bosses, and an interactive background, making it feel like a pixelated precursor to Final Fight. The visuals are clear and the action keeps you engaged from start to finish. I'd give Double Dragon 2 The Revenge a 5 out of 5. It's fun, fast, and packed with classic beat-em up action that defined the genre. Next up, we have Twinbee Special Version. This special edition throws you straight into Stage 6, essentially a Game Plus mode. The increased enemy count and variety make it much harder challenge than the original game. I love the graphics and simplicity of Twinbee. Here you collect upgrades, destroy buildings, and destroy enemies. Thankfully, this edition gives you plenty of lives, so even those less skilled with retro hard modes can still enjoy it. While I prefer the original for casual play, this special edition is fun. I give Twinbee Special Version a 4 out of 5. It's enjoyable, but not as approachable as the regular game. Next, we have Volleyball. Here you play a volleyball team, controlling the front 3 players on offense and back players on defense. The game really nails the one-touch mechanics for passing, setting, and spiking, making the gameplay surprisingly deep. You can jump, block, and spike, and there's even a scoreboard to keep track of points. It's really impressive to see how far sports games have come. This feels like a grandfather of the Switch Sports Volleyball, and this game has a bit of complexity too. I give Volleyball a 5 out of 5. It's a fun, strategic, and exciting sports game that is truly perfect for quick gameplay sessions. Next, we have Clu Clu Land. You play as a bubblefish tasked with uncovering all the gold while you avoid the sea urchins. The controls don't feel intuitive because of their uniqueness, but I guess that's also part of its charm. Navigating the maze can be frustrating, but some might appreciate the challenge. I give Clu Clu Land a 2.5 out of 5. Many people might hate me for it though, but it's just not my game. Next, we have Donkey Kong Jr. Here, Mario is a villain, and your goal is to free Donkey Kong. The stages introduce new platforms and mechanics that can be tricky to figure out at first, and some sections feel frustrating if you misjudge a jump. That said, it's still a good game and I can see the potential to hook you in. I give Donkey Kong Jr. a 3.5 out of 5. Next, we have Star Soldier Special Version. Here, you start at stage 8 of 16, equipped with the ability to shoot in 5 directions and a defensive shield. At the end of the stage, you face a big boss which you defeat by destroying all 4 of its power cells. The game is entertaining and challenging, but I personally prefer playing the original version first. Although, this game is really fun, but the difficulty ramps up pretty quickly. Definitely for those who enjoy a real challenge. I'd give Star Soldier Special Version a 3.5 out of 5. Next, we have Versus Excite Bike. It's the original Excite Bike, but updated. like an arranged version of it, with new tracks and two-player competitive racing. You race motorcycles through obstacles, managing your bike's temperature to avoid overheating while dodging hazards like oil patches. The game also includes challenge tracks with no opponents, where your goal is to complete mini courses as cleanly and quickly as possible. The two-player split screen mode is especially fun, adding head-to-head competition. I'd give Versus Excite Bike a 5 out of 5, perfect for single-player or multiplayer gaming sessions. Next, we had Kid Icarus Special Version. In this edition, you start with all 3 sacred treasures, including the wings of Pegasus, ready to jump straight into the final stage. You're immediately on the flying shooting map, which cuts out all the downtime usually spent collecting the items and going up this very high mountain, which I love since it lets you dive right into the action while still keeping the classic Kid Icarus feel. It's fun, engaging, and perfectly captures what makes the series great. I give Kid Icarus a 4 out of 5. Next up is Punch-Out. You play as Little Mac facing a series of opponents with Mario as your referee. The graphics and controls are simple, which is part of the charm. You can punch the baddie by pressing A and B button, and you can punch the face of your opponent by pressing A and B while holding up the up button. You can even dodge your opponent's punches, or shield yourself from the punches. The game includes stamina management, rounds, timers, a coach giving tips, and a cheering crowd. The game is fast-paced, fun, and surprisingly strategic. You feel the impact of each punch thanks to the animations. The music and overall presentation are great, and the challenge ramps up nicely throughout multiple levels, including legendary bosses. I'd give Punch-Out a 6 out of 5. It's entertaining, addictive, and I can see myself putting up my retro handheld and play this game for hours. Next, we have Star Soldier, but this time, it's the normal version. Compared to the special version, the normal game is more approachable and fun. It's not exactly a game I'd play all the time, but it captures the classic shoot 'em up experience really well. I'd give Star Soldier a 4 out of 5. Next up, we have Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. This game was originally released in Japan as Super Mario Bros. 2. This is a harder, more punishing version of the original game, designed for players seeking an extra challenge. Which, by the way, during the time, Japanese people love more challenges in games. You can choose Mario or Luigi, but stages immediately ramp up the difficulty. There are new hazards like deadly mushrooms and tricky level designs that demand precision. The color palettes are harsher a bit than the original, but it still looks kinda good. Overall, this is a great game for a dedicated Mario fan who want a tough experience and bragging rights if they beat it. I give Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels a 4 out of 5. Next, we have Kid Icarus, the normal version. This version is a classic adventure platformer with mountains to climb and rooms to explore, enemies to defeat, and a tricky platforming section that can be punishing at times. Zombies and other tanky enemies make some areas especially challenging, and you'll often die if you're not careful. Despite the difficulty, the game is engaging and I can see myself playing it through the end. I give Kid Icarus a 4 out of 5. Next, we have Kirby Adventure Special Version. This edition lets you jump straight into Extra, the more difficult game, which is usually unlocked only after completing the main game. Despite the challenge, classic Kirby charm is fully intact. You can eat enemies, gain power-ups, and explore beautifully designed levels. The graphics are excellent, the soundtrack is catchy, and this game includes helpful features like a health bar and a roadmap to track your progress. The gameplay is polished, the level design is clever, and there are plenty of fun secrets to discover. By the way, you can actually play the original Kirby's Adventure game here, which is pretty kinda awesome. I'd give Kirby's Adventure Special Version a 6 out of 5. Next, we have Star Tropics. This game blends RPG and dungeon crawler elements, with a top-down world map, towns to explore, and dungeons filled with enemies. Your main weapon is a yo-yo, which you use to battle foes and navigate obstacles. The game doesn't handhold, so you need to explore to figure out where to go next. But the map design is solid and the graphics are impressive for the era. Star Tropics is like a Zelda-style adventure with a unique twist, offering a fun and challenging experience. I'd give Star Tropics a 3 out of 5. It might be my go-to, but it has a lot of potential for fans of adventure games. I highly recommend you try this out. Next, we have Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Special Edition. In this version, all your stats, like magic, attack, and life, are already maxed out at level 8. You don't start with any items, but the boost in power makes it easier to tear through enemies right away. Your goal is to clear the 6 palaces and reach the Great Palace to win back Hyrule. This game plays differently from the original Legend of Zelda. It mixes a top-down overworld with side-scrolling combat and exploration. A lot of players back then didn't like that change, but honestly it kind of works. The town feels alive, you can talk to NPCs, enter buildings, and even get hints about what to do next. It's got that old school exploration vibe where the game doesn't hold your hand. You just go fight, figure things out as you travel from town to town. It might be tough, but it's really a satisfying adventure once you get the hang of it. I give Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, a 4 out of 5. It's different than the original, but in a good way. So, if you're a Zelda fan, you might want to check this out. Next, we have Blaster Master Underworld of Lore Special Edition. This game starts you at Area 8, the final part of the game. Sophia, your tank, is fully equipped. Driving the tank feels Metroidy, and you're inside an alien dungeon maze, blasting through enemies and trying to explore it. However, dropping straight into the final stage gives you zero context if you haven't played the base game. You can jump and briefly hover, which requires some fuel. It's cool, but really confusing. You spawn in this alien labyrinth and try to survive without knowing any story. So, Blaster Master SP Edition gets 1 out of 5. This version feels like being dropped into an end of a movie you've never even watched. Next, we have Kirby's Adventure. This is basically the regular version, and honestly, still amazing, still fun, still Kirby. 5 out of 5. No changes needed. Next, we have Metroid Expedition Special Edition. In this version, you're dropped right into the action. Every power-up, weapon, and ability is unlocked from the start. Honestly, this is how a special edition should be done. This is basically Metroid on steroids. You'll definitely love this if you want a quick game session, because you're maxed out from the start. You can immediately morph into a ball, which, by the way, I don't know how Samus does that, but it works. Though dated, you can see the DNA of modern games like Hollow Knight right here. It's an easy 4 out of 5. Definitely a must play. Next, we have Super Mario Bros. 2. Fun fact, this game is completely different from Japan's Super Mario Bros. 2. For the US release, Nintendo reskinned another game called Doki Doki Panic and turned it into this sequel. So here, you can pick between Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach, each with different abilities. I like Luigi the most because of its high floaty jump. The gameplay is unique and you don't just jump on enemies to kill them. Instead, you defeat them by picking them up or pulling out radishes and throwing it to them. It works despite being weird. There's a cool mechanic where placing a door opens a mirror shadow world of the map, and the color palette is really beautiful, super bright and super fun. Overall, it's a strange game for a Mario game, but I really like it. Super Mario Bros. 2 US gets a 5 out of 5 for me. Next up, we have Blaster Master, the original version. So again, you're driving a tank through underground areas, fighting what look like mechanical zombie robots and aliens, but it's cool in its own way. There's even a ladder that I question how a tank climbs a ladder, but still, the game deserves the credit. The map feels huge, the world has a certain charm, and you can even go underwater. Overall, it's not bad, but it might not just be for me. I give Blaster Master a 2.5 out of 5, although some players might actually dig it. Try it out for yourself. Next up, we have Ghost and Goblins Special Edition. This one drops you right into stage 6. Visually, it's a bit rough. The color palette is a bit harsh, bright, flashing, and disorienting. I know it's a classic, but the stage visually doesn't work for me. Gameplay-wise, it's still the old-fashioned, brutally difficult Ghosts and Goblins formula. Enemies fly at you non-stop, and there's even a dragon boss. But for some reason, there's kind of bug going around, making him look like half invisible. But anyway, I respect this game's legacy. It's an OG tough platformer. But this version, definitely not something I'd casually boot up for fun. Sorry to the fans, but this one's a 1 out of 5 for me. Next, we have Ninja Gaiden The Thrilling Climax. This edition jumps you right into the final level, stage 6-4. No warm-ups, no intro, just straight to the boss fight. I love it. No long setup, just pure intense endgame energy. You're dropped right before the showdown with a big bad samurai looking dude. But take note though, if you die, you restart at stage 6-1. So every mistake means you're playing the whole section. It's tough, but fair enough for an old school challenge. These SP versions are really a hit or miss. Sometimes it's awesome to be thrown into the finale, other times you need context. For this one, it really works. It delivers that boss rush feel. I give it a 4 out of 5. It's a perfect quick challenge when you just want to test your skills against a big boss. Next, we have the Legend of Zelda Adventure of Link, regular version. This basically is the same as the SP version we've played earlier, without all of the upgrades. Same side-scrolling combat, same overworld exploration, same getting lost for half an hour energy. Not much new to say here, but it's still a solid classic, even it can be a bit tough to get into nowadays. I'd rate it a 4 out of 5, still stands strong as one of the more unique entries in Zelda series. Next, we have The Adventures of Lolo. The story is simple. Lolo's love interest has been kidnapped by the Devil King, taken to his haunted castle, and it's up to you to rescue her. Gameplay-wise, this leans heavily into puzzles rather than pure adventure. Here, you move carefully and use hearts to neutralize enemies. You open treasure chests to get more hearts, and figure out the correct sequence of actions to progress. One wrong step and you might need to restart the level. It's a methodical brain-teasing experience rather than just a fast-paced action game. I really love the challenge and the clever puzzle design of this game. I rate it a 4 out of 5. Solid fun for puzzle lovers. Next, we have Dr. Mario Special Edition. In this version, it gives you access to a rare scene that usually only appears after clearing the game on level 30 at high speed. This is really just like a treat for longtime fans. Gameplay-wise, it's still the classic Dr. Mario we all know. Here you stack 4 or more pills of the same color to eliminate viruses. You match colors, like yellow pills for yellow viruses, blue for blue, and so on and so forth. The stacking mechanics feel like a blend of Tetris and Puyo Puyo, making it a satisfying puzzle challenge. This SP version even lets you revisit the original game while adding a bonus ending screen for completing the rare level. It's clever, engaging, and never feels childish. I rate Dr. Mario a 5 out of 5. It's a perfect puzzle game for puzzle game fans. Next, we have Metroid Special Edition Version 1. In this special edition, it throws you straight into the late game boss battle with Ridley. But don't worry, since you're fully equipped already. Think of it as a taste of peak Metroid experience without the usual progression. It's mostly a showcase fight letting you see the action and power-ups in play, but it skips large portions of the game. The context is missing and it can feel a bit disorienting if you haven't played the earlier levels. That said, the boss fight itself is entertaining and demonstrates what makes Metroid fun. For this one, I rate it a 3 out of 5. Fun for the fans who want some quick rush of action, but not a full experience. Next, we have the regular Ninja Gaiden. This side-scrolling action game kicks you off with navigating detailed streets and brick walls, and it quickly throws you into fast-paced combat and boss fights. The graphics are sharp for its time, and the story elements keep you engaged. What makes it stand out is how the story and gameplay is great. You're not just fighting, you're following a narrative that adds stakes to every encounter. The controls are responsive, the pacing is tight, and it has that classic Ninja Gaiden challenge. I'd rate this a 4 out of 5. It has engaging action, good story integration, and a solid side-scroller experience. Next, we have Wario's Woods. It's a charming puzzle game where you defeat enemies using falling bombs. Each bomb has a color and matching them with the corresponding enemies triggers an explosion. The gameplay is simple but surprisingly satisfying. Less complex than Dr. Mario, but it's still addictive. What makes it fun is the twist on traditional falling block puzzles. You actively manipulate the enemies and bombs rather than just letting pieces fall. It's a simple yet highly enjoyable puzzle game that's easy to pick up and hard to put down. I give it a 5 out of 5. Next, we have Gradius Special Edition. In this special edition of Gradius, you start at stage 5 all maxed out. You jump straight into the action with fully powered spaceship loaded with machine guns, bombs, and all the upgrades. This version is perfect for pick-up and play sessions. You get all the fun Gradius without grinding through the early stages. The shooting action feels satisfying, the waves of enemies are challenging but very manageable, and the power-ups makes you feel unstoppable. I give it a 5 out of 5. It's straightforward, action-packed, and it's very satisfying. Next up, we have Mighty Bomb Jack, the normal version. In this non-special edition, you start at the first level and the gameplay is straightforward. Collect bombs and treasure chests, avoid hazards, and make it to the end of the stage. It's really nostalgic and easy to follow since it starts you at the right direction, unlike the special version, but it doesn't have anything particularly exciting to set it apart from the other platformers that were legends during this era. Or maybe that's just me, but I rate it a 3 out of 5. Fun for a quick session, but not something I'd actively go out of my way to play. Next up, we have Twin Bee, the regular version. Unlike the special edition, this one is much easier. The gameplay is more forgiving, making it accessible if you just want to enjoy the action without the instant challenge. The core design and charm of Twin Bee remain intact, from the colorful visuals to the fun shooting mechanics. I'd give it an easy 5 out of 5. It's classic Twin Bee fun. Next, we have the Legend of Zelda Special Version, Life and Luxury. In this version of the very first Legend of Zelda game, you start with tons of rupees, the white sword, magical shield, and all the key items, including the power bracelet. Basically, you're overpowered from the start. It's a version designed for those who just want to dive into adventure without grinding for resources. The game still has its classic charm, exploring forest, dungeons, and secret areas with the iconic Zelda music keeping you hooked. And with extra health and items, even the tough spots feel manageable, making it the best Zelda experience for a casual playthrough. I'd rate it a 5 out of 5. It's a fun, overpowered adventure that keeps the magic of Zelda alive. Next, we have the NES Open Tournament Golf. This one is a Mario-themed golf game. It's an upgrade take on the original golf game we just played earlier. What I loved about this is there's even a third-person swing view that shows the ball flying. Mechanically, it's a more developed game than the original golf, but it can feel tricky and less intuitive, especially if you're used to simpler controls. While the presentation is better, the gameplay can be frustrating at times, so I still will give it a 2 out of 5. It's a decent attempt at modernizing the original golf game, but it's not a game that I'd return to often or I'd think of if I want to play a golf game. Next, we have Solomon's Key. In this version of Solomon's Key, you play as a wizard navigating 40 stages. Your goal is to rescue the fairy in each level by finding the magic key and escaping. The twist is that you create blocks to build platforms or reach areas, but you also must avoid enemies and hazards that constantly spawn. At first, it can feel confusing, but as you learn the mechanics, the game starts to click. It's challenging and requires quick thinking, but it's also part of the fun. It's a great, addictive platformer puzzle game that grows on you as you play. I give it a 4 out of 5. Next, we have Super Dodgeball. In this game, you control a dodgeball team traveling the world to become champions. You can pass, attack, and compete in team matches. Basically, it's really just straightforward. It's a dodgeball game, but visually, it can be very harsh. The gameplay doesn't do enough to compensate for the strain on the eyes, and it's not engaging enough to make you want to keep playing. This one, I give a 1 out of 5. It's not something I'd pick again, although it's a fun concept, but poorly executed in this version. Next, we have Balloon Fight. It's a simple but highly addictive pick-up and play game. You control a little character with balloons and try to defeat enemies without losing your own balloons. There are two main modes, one player, which you battle against other balloon flying enemies, and Balloon Trip, a side-scrolling survival mode. The controls are intuitive. The turbo button lets you flap continuously, while the other button lets you flap once. Despite the simplicity, the gameplay hooks you instantly. Dodging hazards, popping enemy balloons, and navigating tricky levels keep it exciting. And honestly, the Balloon Trip is a really fun mode that really hooks you into playing this game. So for this game, I rate it a 6 out of 5. It's pure fun, perfectly simple, and endlessly replayable. It's a must-have in your NES collection. Next, we have Baseball. It's a classic NES sports game. You control your team, pitch, hit, and try to strike out the opposing players. You can curve pitches, throw fastballs, and maneuver a bit on the field. But movement is very limited and there's no sprinting mechanic, which makes the gameplay feel a bit slow. It's relaxing and nostalgic. There's charm in its simplicity, but it's not very engaging compared to other pick-up-and-play NES titles like Balloon Fight. It's great for a quick retro session, but not something you'd keep coming back to. Overall, I give it a 3 out of 5. It's fun for nostalgia, but it's really not a standout. Honestly, I thought I would score this higher since I played this a lot when I was a kid, but really, right now, I can only give it a 3. Next up is the original Donkey Kong. This is an NES classic. You play as Mario before he even became Super Mario and rescuing the princess. In this game, you're not rescuing Princess. You're trying to rescue Pauline from DK, who's throwing barrels down at you. The concept is simple. Dodge barrels, climb ladders, and use hammers strategically to destroy barrels. But that simplicity is exactly what makes it so fun. The stages get progressively trickier with moving fireballs and challenging jumps, enough to keep you engaged in every level. It's pretty tense but really rewarding. It's easy to pick up for a quick session, yet challenging enough to stay engaging. Overall, I give it a 5 out of 5. Next, we have Double Dragon. It's the game that started it all. The story is a classic beat-em-up story. A girl is kidnapped and it's up to you to fight through waves of enemies to rescue her. Here, you punch, kick, and pick up objects to throw at enemies. There's even a flying kick move. The gameplay feels like a pixelated Final Fight game, with tough enemies and some boss-like characters who look like a mix between Mike Tyson and The Hook. While Double Dragon 2 is more polished, the original is still solid fun, especially for co-op play. It's still a bit rough around the edges, but classic beat-em-up fans will surely enjoy it. I rate this game a 4 out of 5. Solid, nostalgic, though the sequel really edges it out. Next, we have Dr. Mario, the regular version. There's nothing much any different on this Dr. Mario than the Dr. Mario Special Edition we played earlier. This is just the regular version without all of the bonus ending they made for the Special Edition. This game is really simple to pick up, but really challenging enough to keep you engaged. It's a perfect quick play game when you want a mental challenge or a fun break, and it's easy to see why it remained popular over the years. It's a timeless puzzle fun. So I give it a 5 out of 5. Next we have X-Cite Bike Original Edition. The difference with this one is that on the get-go, you can choose between time trial mode or race mode, giving you flexibility right from the start. It's fast, fun, and really easy to pick up, yet it's still challenging enough to test your reflexes and track skills. And the course designs keep you coming back for just one more race. I give this a 5 out of 5, a true pick up and play racing classic. Next we have Ghosts and Goblins Normal Edition. On this non-special edition, you start from the very beginning, stepping into the classic tale of Knight trying to rescue a kidnapped girl. Compared to the special edition, the pacing feels better, giving a more structured progression through the levels. The game is challenging and demands precision, but it can be a bit rough on your eyes and doesn't quite click for everyone. For this one, I give it a solid 3 out of 5. Next we have Gradius, the original version. Unlike the special edition, you don't start with maxed out power-ups. You earn them as you go, which makes the gameplay feel much more rewarding. You pilot your spaceship through waves of enemies, dodging bullets and collecting power-ups to upgrade your speed, missiles, double shot, and laser. It's challenging, but the satisfaction of building your ship arsenal makes it stand out in the shooter genre. The one-hit deaths keep tension high, making every move count. I rate this a 4 out of 5, a must-play for fans of classic space shooters. Next we have Ice Climber. Ice Climber has you scaling a pixelated mountain, smashing ice blocks with your hammer while avoiding enemies. The gameplay is simple but requires precision. Sometimes the hitboxes make jumps frustrating because sometimes the hitboxes for those platforms are not really aligned, so you'll think you land safely but you end up missing the step and fall down. But aside from that, it's a pretty much enjoyable game. Despite a few control quirks, the game is charming and addictive once you get into the rhythm of climbing and clearing stages. For this one, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Next we have Ice Hockey. It's a fast-paced and surprisingly intense for an NES sports game. You can choose teams, pass, shoot, and even steal the puck from your opponents. Controlling both the goalie and your skaters keeps you on your toes, and the gameplay is full of suspense, especially in 2-player mode. It's chaotic, fun, and easy to pick up, making it completely perfect for quick competitive matches or long sessions with friends. It's surprisingly deep and really an exciting hockey game that still holds up in today's standards. I rate it a 5 out of 5. Next, we have the Legend of Zelda original version. This is Legend of Zelda in its classic experience. You start up with basically nothing until you get the sword and also your power-ups. You explore dungeons, defeat enemies, and uncover secrets the way the game was meant to be played. It's the foundation of the series and offers that iconic adventure feel. You'll also see Link in his iconic green clothes here. For this one, I rate it a 4 out of 5. It's timeless and engaging. Though, the special editions with the extra items make for a faster, easier experience. Next, we have Mario Brothers. This is the original Mario Brothers before they became Super Mario Brothers. Here, Mario and Luigi face off against turtles, crabs, and other creatures in the sewers. Gameplay is simple but satisfying. You hit platforms to flip the enemies onto their backs, and then you finish them off. The mechanics are very straightforward, yet it's also very addictive. I rate this a 4 out of 5. It's a solid classic that works well as a quick pick-up and play game and really enjoyable. Next, we have Pro Wrestling. It's a classic 2D wrestling experience that's simple, fun, and easy to pick up. You can perform pins and basic wrestling moves, making it a quick, satisfying game for casual matches or multiplayer fun. The graphics are clean, the characters are recognizable, and the announcer adds a charming touch to the action. I rate it a 3.5 out of 5. It might not be the deepest wrestling game, but it's a nostalgic and enjoyable NES title, perfect for some retro fun. Next, we have River City Ransom. This game is an absolute gem. From the moment you start, the pixel art pops with personality. It almost feels like a modern SNES game. You step into a fun, chaotic world where the gangs roam the streets, but you also get to drink coffee for power-ups and interact with the environment in ways that make it feel alive. The RPG elements are a delightful touch, letting you upgrade your stats, pick up items, and strategize your fights. Combat is punchy and satisfying, with animations that feel lively rather than stiff. The freedom to explore, upgrade, and take on enemies at your own pace gives the game an incredible replay value. As for the rating, I rate it a 6 out of 5. It's retro, it's stylish, and endlessly fun. It's also very innovative at the time. Next, we have Soccer, and it's surprisingly solid. The controls are responsive, letting you make long passes, short passes, and even score exciting goals. The graphics are simple but effective. The gameplay captures the essence of soccer in a way that's easy to pick up and play. While it might not be as fast-paced as ice hockey, it's still fun. It has this strategic experience that rewards good timing and positioning. Definitely a game you can enjoy for quick matches or longer play sessions. I rate this a 4 out of 5. It's a proper, enjoyable soccer experience on the NES. Next, we have Super Mario Bros., the original version. This is the NES classic that started it all and made Mario a household name. Super Mario Bros. Is a quintessential platformer, simple to pick up yet challenging enough to keep you hooked all the way to the final castle. The game strikes the perfect balance between easy early levels and gradually tougher stages later on, giving that satisfying sense of progression we all love. The level design is smooth, varied, and iconic, and the controls feel tight and responsive. Even decades later, it's still a game that feels at home on the NES. For this one, I give it a 6 out of 5. It's a timeless classic that you'll always want to revisit at least once a year. Next, we have Super Mario Bros. 3 Normal Edition. Super Mario Bros. 3 takes everything great about earlier Mario games and cranks it up to 11. From the first level, you see the upgraded design and attention to detail. The graphics feel polished and vibrant for an NES game. The world map adds strategic depth, letting you plan your path. New mechanics like flying with the raccoon tail or sliding down the slopes makes it very enjoyable. Items can be accessed straight from the menu, making the experience smoother and more balanced. Difficulty is also carefully tuned. Early levels are welcoming, while later stages provide real challenges without feeling unfair. Super Mario Bros. 3 really feels like the template for any future Mario games that were made. With smart level design and creative power-ups, this is really the ultimate Super Mario Bros. Experience on the NES. For this game, I rate it a 5 out of 5. It's a masterpiece that improved on everything before it and remains an NES classic that every gamer should experience. Next, we have Tecmo Bowl. Tecmo Bowl is a solid NES era football game that offers more depth than it might seem at first. You can plan plays, control formations, and execute tactics, giving it a nice layer of strategy beyond just running and passing. The animations used in this game adds its charm and keeps the action lively. While the game can feel a bit unfair if you're not deeply versed in American football rules, it's approachable enough to pick up and enjoy. The combination of simple controls with strategic options makes it a fun, retro sports experience. I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Ready, down, put.
Next, we have Tennis on the NES. It's a straightforward and classic sports game. You can play singles or doubles, with simple controls that let you serve, volley, and strategize your shots. The gameplay is easy to pick up and has a nice retro charm, making it fun for quick matches. While it's not as flashy or fast-paced as modern tennis games, it's satisfying in its simplicity and still holds up as a solid pick-up and play title. For this game, I rank it a 3.5 out of 5. It's a timeless, approachable tennis game with the nostalgic appeal. Next, we have Yoshi. This isn't a platformer game. In fact, it's a charming puzzle game where you pair falling objects, often eggs, to clear the screen and prevent clutter. It's simple, approachable, and has that classic Nintendo charm, making it easy to pick up for a short gaming session. While it might not surpass puzzle classics like Dr. Mario and Tetris, it still offers a fun, light puzzle action and earns a little nostalgic space in your collection. For this game, I rate it a 3.5 out of 5. It's a sweet casual puzzle game with a touch of Yoshi's charm. And that's about it. Every NES game on the Nintendo Switch online played and rated. Some classics didn't hit it like I expected, but there are few surprise gems that absolutely carried it all the way. Here are the top of the top scale breakers that I rated 6 out of 5. These are games that are must play even though you don't play retro games. These are Punch-Out!, Kirby's Adventure SP, Balloon Fight, River City Ransom, and the original Super Mario Bros. These are games that you need to play. Even though you don't like retro games, I honestly recommend playing these games at least once in your lifetime. The next are the must-play classics. These are games that you must play if you're looking for an NES game or if you have a retro handheld. These are 5 out of 5 ratings. And these are the ones shown on screen. Some of them are Tetris, Donkey Kong, Urban Champion, RC Pro-Am, Xevious, Dig Dug 2, and so on and so forth. There's so much good stuff in this NES library, whether you're just replaying classics or discovering new games. Which one is your favorite NES game on our list, and which game do you think I should have scored higher? Drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell button so you don't miss the next video. See you in the next one. Bye guys!